How's everyone doing? I'm filming this on Friday, but it will not be shown to you until Tuesday with your substitute. So just for a review, I'm making these videos so that you guys have lessons while I'm gone for my 3 days. So hopefully you guys are doing good and the substitute is not scared yet from all of you. Just kidding. I know you guys are amazing. So anyway, yesterday we looked at this image and we should have completed our 3-step analysis sheet. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that after you guys do your liftoff. So your liftoff today is to tell me where you see yourself in 5 years. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? So in 5 years, you will be graduated from high school and possibly in college or working or maybe on the moon. Who knows? So write to me and tell me in your passport. Passports should be passed out at this point. Passports should be passed out, yeah. Okay, so in your liftoff page, if you have a liftoff page, great. If not, start one. Tell me where you see yourself in 5 years. So go ahead and pause the video, take 5 minutes to do that, and then we'll get started with our lesson. Okay, so the image that we looked at yesterday, you guys had your 3-step analysis sheets. You were broken up into your pods, and you should have completed, if you were working diligently, you should have completed your 3-step analysis sheet. So we're going to review what your synthesis was, what your analysis statement was. I want to hear, well, I won't be able to hear, but I want you to share what your analysis statements were so that we can tomorrow use Poser, and Poser is going to be our evidence for our analysis statements. So in review, like I said yesterday, a lot of you did a really good job of analyzing the 3 mediums, because when we did our lesson, when we were in groups and we did our stations, we analyzed a dance, we analyzed a video clip from Wreck-It Ralph, and we analyzed a poem, and we analyzed them all through the gender filter, and you guys made a statement about the common message between all 3 mediums. And you did a really good job of doing that. A lot of you had good answers for your analysis statement, but not a lot of you included evidence in your analysis statement. So we're going to back up our analysis statements with evidence, and that's the whole point of Poser. Poser is going to help us do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this image and get through our analysis statement so that we can use Poser. So when we look at this image, what filter did you guys use to view the image through? What filter did you use? You can pause the video for 30 seconds. Everyone share their filters, or a few people, like 2 or 3 people, tell us what filters you used. And then we're going to, share why you use that filter. So go ahead and pause the video for 30 seconds or a minute. Okay, so hopefully you guys shared the historical filter. Hopefully you looked at this through a historical filter. And the reason why you would look at it through a historical filter is because we're looking into history here. This is clearly a picture from history, right? We have soldiers from what era based on the year 1919? Where is this from? World War I. Hopefully you guys said that. All right, so when we're looking through the historical filter, we write it at the top of our analysis sheet. So go ahead and, if you have not done this already, write historical filter at the top of your sheet. And let's discuss what your focal point was. When you look at this picture, what is the first thing that comes to mind? What is the first thing that you see? What grabs your attention immediately? go ahead and pause the video and discuss this for about 2 minutes, what you wrote down. Okay, so the focal points that I have are that there's a man with a gun in the air. This guy right here. There's a man with a gun in the air. Another focal point is all of these soldiers are pointing the gun towards one person. These are just observations. We're not making inferences yet. And another focal point for me is that the picture looks very posed. The picture looks kind of posed. Do you guys agree with that? Have a discussion. Pause the video for about a minute and see why. Look at your pictures and tell me why it looks posed. Why would I say that? Why does the picture look posed? Go ahead and pause the video for a minute and discuss that. Okay, so you should have had your discussion about why this video, or this, I'm sorry, why this picture looks posed. The reason why I say it's posed is because, one, the man is standing here like he's facing the camera. Everybody is facing the camera. Either the photographer was very, very lucky or it's posed, right? Because this doesn't just naturally happen. Also, the soldiers are like perfectly in line. They look like they're all angled at like it just looks too good to be true. It doesn't look like it's natural. It just doesn't look natural. And the way this guy's like looking at the camera, you can see that the guy in the center is looking directly at the camera. I don't know, y'all. It just seems kind of sketchy. It doesn't seem like it's like legit. So let's go ahead and look at the second. So my focal points were the man holding the gun up, looking directly at the camera. The guy, the one guy that has all the guns pointed towards him, and then the picture just looks posed. Those were my immediate focal points. Okay, the color and the mood. So the color is obviously in a gray scale, right? And this probably, the picture is probably in grayscale because you guys can finish the answer. Hopefully you said because it was taken during World War I. It was in 1919. So this was, through a historical filter, this was a grayscale photo because of the time period that it was taken in, right? Okay, so the mood, what is the mood? Take 30 seconds to discuss what the mood of the photo is. What mood does this put you in? What kind of faces, facial expressions do they have? Go ahead and pause the video for 30 seconds and then we'll talk about that after you're done discussing it. Okay, so the mood seems very serious. Obviously, nobody's laughing and smiling and having a good time. The mood seems serious. Okay. And then for sources, we don't really know the source. The photographer was not listed on the website, so I just put unknown source. But we do know that it was taken in Germany because it says Munich. So it was taken in Munich, Germany. Munich is a city in Germany. Okay. All right, so inferences. My favorite part. We love inferences. I know you guys miss me. Anyway, so inferences are what? Hopefully one of my brilliant students said educated guesses or assumptions. All right. So inferences are an educated guess based on prior knowledge, our observations, and just simply having a brain, right? We can make inferences based on our observations, prior knowledge, and common sense, okay? So the first inference is about the objects and the people. Okay, I made an inference that the men in uniform must be American soldiers, okay? If we think about history and we think through a historical filter, the American soldiers were sent to Germany, right? And they were fighting communism. The United States obviously was not down with the whole communist regime, right? So they might be American soldiers. That's my inference based on background knowledge. And I also made an inference that the picture may have been used to send a message. It may have been used to send a message. What message could they be sending? Pause the video and discuss that for 2 minutes. What message could they be sending? Okay, so you should have discussed now the message that they were sending. What do you think that was? I think that they were sending a message that they weren't going to put up with communism. That if you were communist, there was a threat coming for you. And this is the threat. Now, I also made an inference that the picture was posed. That was my observation. Now, I'm going to make an inference that they purposely posed this picture to threaten communism. They may have posed this picture because they wanted to send a message that if you're gonna be a communist, then that's it. You have this coming for you. These guns are gonna be pointed in your face, and we're not gonna show any mercy. I think that they posed this picture to do that. And this guy right here is dressed. This is another observation I should have made, but this guy is dressed very shady. He's kind of shady. He's not the hat, the dark clothes. He's kind of in a shadow. I think he's meant to kind of look shady or communist. Okay? So, words and phrases. The words and phrases in here are very little. I mean, we don't have a lot of them. It's very few. So what inferences can we make based on the words and phrases or the caption of the photo? So the caption of the photo says that execution of a German communist in Munich, 1919. So my inference is that it was obvious, this photo is obviously taken in Germany. The man with the hat is a communist. It doesn't say that directly, but my observation leads to my inference that the man in the hat is the communist. It says Munich 1919 must mean it was shot during World War I. That's my inference, that it was shot during World War I, or the picture was taken during World War I. Okay? So, now that I have shared my observations and my inferences, I want you to take 2 minutes to come up with a synthesis statement that supports or that combines your observations and your inferences. You should have done this yesterday, but now that we've talked a little bit more and now that we've kind of revealed a few things that you may have missed yesterday, I want you to add to your synthesis statement. I want you to kind of tweak it a little bit to reflect what we observed today and what we inferred today, okay? So go ahead and take like 2-ish, 3-ish minutes to write down a new synthesis statement. Don't erase what you wrote. Don't cross it out. Just add to it or maybe tweak it a little bit, okay? Okay. So you should have tweaked your synthesis statement a little bit, and I'm going to share mine. So I synthesized that This black and white image may have been shot during World War I to send a message that communism wouldn't be tolerated. That's my synthesis. Now, I didn't include any evidence in here because we're going to use Poser to do that. I didn't include any evidence. So we're going to do that tomorrow. We're going to use Poser, and we are going to look at the synthesis statement, which we've created, and we are going to identify how we got this synthesis. We're going to look at the evidence from this picture to identify how we got the synthesis, okay? And then, so tomorrow we're going to use Poser, and then I'm going to be back Thursday and Friday, and we're going to rock and roll. We're probably going to do stations. I don't have it figured out yet, but if you have any extra time after class today, you guys can log into IXL and get some IXL time in. You guys know what that means. Make sure 5 minutes before the bell rings, somebody collects my passports. I want my room looking spotless. No pencils or pens sprinkled around the place. Pick up your droppings and have an awesome day. Make good choices. Bye.